Well, it was turnaround Tuesday when we were 14 handles higher. Still in the green, still unchanged, but lost some big leadership yesterday. Big tech let us down. Kellogg's up nearly $2 on an upgrade, huh? We'll have to talk about that one. And some guests you really look forward to, and another guest you really look forward to. Kenny hit the bid Glick at 8:35. Let's get it started on pre-market prep.
Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's Pre-Market Prep with your hosts, Joel Elconin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I'm bidding a penny. I'd buy that stock for a penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day.
As mentioned, we're in the green, 3.5 handles at 73.75, way off the pre-market high, 87.75, and nestled above the pre-market low, which is just about the closing price as well. The buck down nearly 14 cents, 102.19. Bonds trying to prove 128, old resistance, new support. Crude moving away from 70, down a $1.09 at 68.28. Gold in the red by a few pennies, 1933.60. Silver going the opposite way, up 8 cents at 22.90. And Bitcoin still holding above 30K, up $450 at 30,765. Let's bring in the foreman of a shed that is bigger than some people's house.
I don't know about that.
Dennis, the construction worker.
It was a day yesterday, I got to tell you, because I'm trying to trade, and here was the lineup here. So we start with, it's supposed to off and on thunder showers all day. I'm like, that's brutal because I got the crane. This is GCing for you. I got the crane rented, and I've got it all organized. Trusses are going to go up, so my crew's there, and I've got, the tree guy going to come in the afternoon and take trees down while I have the crane. So killing two birds with one stone, going to go well. Day starts. The crew gets here, trusses get here, the crane gets here, crane blows a line, and rad fluid's flying out. I think I was telling you, just flying out of the truck. I'm looking at it from like doing the show, looking out my window, and rad fluid's flying out of there. I was like, I gotta go because there's issues here. Anyway, so that's at 9 o'clock yesterday morning. So they get the guy, he comes in, a mechanic, puts the hose back on, gets the crane operational. So they get going around 10 o'clock. 11 o'clock, thunderstorm comes through, shuts everything down because you can have a crane in the air when there's lightning. So that's shut down. And I'm like, wow, none of this is going to happen. I call the tree guy, back him off, and just trying to figure it all out. Finally, at the end, and you can show actually in the afternoon, everything went smooth. I was like, it never works like that. But the thunderstorm stopped around 12 o'clock. Crew got up there, trusses went up, tree guy came at 3. Trees were down by 5 because we got a crane. It's unbelievable to take trees down. Here's the video. So that's my buddy, actually. It's my friend Rob, who's up there in the tree like a monkey. He goes up there, chainsaws, and he ties the tree off on the crane, and boom, and then they just lift the pieces of the tree. And that's the whole top of the tree. That is a 60-foot tree, folks. As you can see, the shop that's there. That is a 60-foot tree that crane is just lifting down, picking up the pieces. They got the weight on the crane. It's really cool. You can tell what each piece weighs because he's like, from this lift, he knows he can lift like 2,000 pounds out there. So like estimating, they took the first piece, well, that was 800. So I don't know how much that piece of tree was. It's all, smaller branches and stuff, but I think that was a good 1,000 pounds probably, but really cool. So anyways, that's my story from yesterday. At the end, it all worked out. So just taking it back to the markets, things can look bleak. Things can look tough. It's going to be a tough day. But you know what? It can work itself out. So you keep fighting, you keep going through, and sometimes things work out. Yesterday worked out for me there. Trading is the same thing. Keep up the fight. So there's your metaphor. Tree lifting turns into trading. Let's
all I
go.
gotta say is, man, if that's the shop, man, I want to see the house.
Wow. So it's
Yeah.
got the extra story, the loft. It's got on top of the shop.
Jay,
So, you
Jay
know what I
said
was thinking? Why
same
I
thing,
did
Jay.
that? Because you could do like a one-story shop.
Said the same
But I'm like,
thing.
nobody's ever going to be able to afford a house. Like, my kids are never going to be able to afford a house
That
because
could have
all
been
the
my
houses
house.
are going to be millions of dollars by the time. So I'm looking at that and thinking, well, I put in the second story on that shop, and now it's a little upstairs apartment. So maybe one day one of my kids might be able to actually live up there when they can't afford a house, because that's the way this world is going. So anyways, that's why I put the second floor on the shop.
I got a good pivot here. So Harry's talking about in the chat, man, that's a huge workshop, Dennis. Are you building boats on the side? No, actually, I think Dennis is going to start building cars for ride.
Oh, yeah, maybe. We're going to start
Oh.
operations. Lordstown, moving into my shop.
Oh, man,
wow.
let's go to it.
Story.
The disaster story of the day.
It's official.
It's
official. Give us the headline, Mitch.
All right. Lordstown Motors has filed for bankruptcy protection and is seeking a buyer. The U.S. electric truck manufacturer's financial troubles stem from a dispute over a promised investment by Taiwan's Foxconn, which remains unresolved. So, filing for bankruptcy protection and riding into the sunset.
Riding into the sunset. I like that, Mitch. Riding into the sunset. It's been on the writing. The writing has been on the wall here. Look at the puns. The writing has been on the wall for months and months. And somebody was tweeting at me, better than 18 months here. I'll just grab who is tweeting that. Yeah, Daniel saying in Twitter, that sign was on the door 15 months ago. It totally was. We kind of all knew where Ride was eventually heading here. And it's finally here. The day of reckoning. Official bankruptcy, RID.
This is not an investment advice, but when you invest in a car company that doesn't really produce any cars, it's not a good sign. Just not a good sign at all. But
there's just too many of them. I mean, there's too many electric car companies. You are going to see, I'm predicting on this show, 10 years from now, you will see less of these little electric car companies. There will be more electric cars on the road. But you got Toyota and Ford and GM going to be major players in EV. Yeah. Tesla will probably still be the player in EV. A lot of these little ones are simply going to go away. Today is a glimpse into the future of a lot of other EV companies. So if you're holding these beaten down EV darlings from 2020, 2021, thinking, well, eventually they're coming back, many of them are going to go the road of Ride, where they just go away.
All right, let's pivot here to Lucid and let's stay in the electric vehicles. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on here. So Lucid, the California-based electric vehicle, of course, yesterday we got news of a deal with Aston Martin. Today we get news of a revealed SEC filing of its majority owner, the Saudi Public Investment Fund, has acquired 265.7 million shares at a price of $6.83 per share. This purchase indicates a premium over Friday's closing price. As a result, the Saudi Public Investment Fund now holds a total ownership stake of 60.49%. That's a huge stake here in Lucid. I mean, they definitely believe in it.
Yeah, they've had the huge stake, and I've said this before. The only thing that Lucid has going for them is the Saudis are behind them. It's the only thing they have going for them, because everything else is not going for them whatsoever. Without the Saudis, I think this would go eventually like Ride, but they do have the Saudis. That is a lot of money behind them. That could make the story a little bit different. With that being said, let's wait. I'm going to wait until I see, a turnaround story here in the fundamentals of the company, because stock was $60. We hate it at 60. Let's just call it out here. Sometimes we're right on this show. Sometimes we're wrong. On Lucid, we have been absolutely correct. We have hated this stock since birth. Another one we've hated since birth, including Rivian. And at 50, I said I think it's going to 5. At 40, I think it's going to 5. At 35, I said I think it's going to 5. It's almost at 5. I guess it's not quite there yet. Did it hit 5? No, it hasn't hit it yet. So I haven't been proven correct in those predictions. But I do think eventually it is going to 5 and maybe lower. It is 582. So we got this one right.
We gave you a great number yesterday, and it was the 6. This is the pre-market action, and it was just a firm seller at 619. If you were using that level, you even got a little bit of a better price in the regular session. I mean, the other thing too about the Saudis being involved with Lucid is they don't care if they lose money. So they'll just keep. I mean,
Well, they
look
all
what
care, but they can
they
throw
don't
more
care. Look what
money
they're
at a
doing
bad
with the
investment.
sports leagues. What's what they're doing with sports and live. They
They have a
got
lot of
so
money.
much money.
They have a lot of money.
Yeah, they don't care. So
Yeah, they just want
yeah,
recognition, right? I would
yep,
think so, Joel, right? And they just want to be in the headlines, right? They want
mhm,
everyone to know who they are. And if that costs them some money, I'm with you, Joel. They're willing to put it out there
yeah,
as long as
yeah.
we know who they are. And we're definitely finding out, right? I mean, they're taking athletes, they're taking leagues, they're taking companies, they're
Golf. I mean,
yeah,
that
I
whole
mean,
golf thing. I mean, you
So
talk
how much do
about
they own now, Mitch?
I
Saudis?
60.4.
So here's why Lucid is probably not a zero, because at a certain point they'll just buy the whole company.
Yeah.
The Saudis will just buy it all. But that doesn't mean
Yeah,
they're
they
going to
would
buy
just
it at
take
10
it, right?
or 12. They might buy it all like 3 or 4. I don't think Lucid is a zero because of that Saudi support. Without the Saudis, I think Lucid is a zero. That's just my opinion. I may be wrong. Without the Saudis, but they have the Saudis. They own 60% of the company already. They're watching this investment go down, down, down. They probably get sick of watching the stock trade and just say, hey, we're just taking the rest of it over. But they ain't coming over and buying at 25 or 20 or 15 or 10. It could be even, lower than this. I think eventually at some point in time, I think the Saudis would buy it all. So I don't think Lucid is a zero only because of the Saudis.
All right, now let's pivot over. Let's go to Meta, as Meta's in the news for two headlines here.
Wow.
As Meta
Big
launches MetaQuest Plus VR subscription service, and this will give you access to 2 games per month, and it's at $7.99 here. So that's something definitely to keep an eye out for, as they're offering exclusive access to 2 new virtual realities. And now Meta Platforms also putting out WhatsApp business application has experienced significant growth, reaching over 200 million users. So getting a little bit of a lift here, Meta Platforms.
If they're going to go up $3-4 every time they come out with a new product, this thing's going to be at all-time highs eventually here. So big mess. I thought about it when it was in the low 100s coming into this. Obviously did not go in and should have. Hindsight Capital's 2020. It's just, every time these banker casts pull back, they seem to get lifts. With that being said, you got a double top in place, 289. You've definitely got some money managers who are a little nervous in this market right now. Joel likes where I'm going with this. So we've come off from the highs since a week ago. We've come off. Tesla's come off. Google's come off, getting a downgrade today. We'll get to that in a second. Apple really is sitting up near the highs, but didn't like the candle yesterday. Microsoft's starting to break down here again. Short term, I think this is a sell. Short term, I think Meta is a sell. Long term, I think probably is still underneath demand here. I think you back to like the 240s, where you retrace some, then you maybe go pick some up. But I think short term, if you're trading this thing, I would ring the register here right now. That's just my opinion.
Have I tried to pick a top in this yet? Along the way?
You're gonna pick it right now?
Let's do it right now, Joel. What you seeing?
Yep. Well, I mean, of course, you teach Dennis everything he knows, and then he steals your thunder.
I did.
Yeah, you got the double top, right? That's one thing. Big seller at 290. Man, and that closing price 88.73 from Friday. That looks like a good level. But more shorter term here, you've had about a 12-point break, right? From 89 to 77. You had 6. That takes you up to 83. There's a firm seller at 284 right now. So many days ago, I identified a firm seller in AMD at 129, and I begged Dennis to get out. I think that's the same scenario here. I think it's the same scenario. I think you got someone just like, okay, I want out. I'm going to sell today at 284. I'm going to see what kind of stock. If I can't get stock at 284, I'm going to jam it down to 283. Then I'm going to jam it down to 282. And then on the downside here, if you don't like selling into strength, you got multiple lows at 276.50. If it takes that out, boom, 270 in a heartbeat. So kind of showing my hand in Meta today, but man, and what was that stock too?
This sets up well for it sets
Yeah.
up well for a sell this morning. It sets up well.
I'm not buying it. I wouldn't be buying it.
It sets up well for a sell. I'm with you, Joel.
Okay.
Yeah, be careful with this one
Just-
though. I've
just
gotten
my
my
opinion.
face. I've gotten my face hit a couple times on that upside, trying to call this turnaround too.
And again,
Yeah, but
you're
you've been trying to
shorting
short it
a
since.
stocks that are really strong. But I love calling the turns. Joe
Yeah,
likes calling the turns.
I
Like
can't
be the
blame
hero,
you.
right? We're trying to be the hero.
I can't blame you guys. My thing, I'm looking for like a big whoosh through 278. Joel called that 276 level, something like that. Give me that big bar, right? And then I'll look for maybe resistance to start playing in. We'll see what happens if meta goes lower, right?
What's going on with that fight? What's going on? Is that on?
It's Celebrity Deathmatch, MTV coming back. No, I'm just playing. Right now, I heard Zuckerberg was getting ready and was like doing a little like with his buddy or something, doing a little rolling around, getting ready. He wants to fight. Zuckerberg wants to become
I want to see
cool.
it.
That's the thing too. Zuckerberg wants to become cool like Elon. He wants to be like
He wants to
Elon.
to be the man. You got to beat the man.
Beat the man. Exactly, Dennis. That's 100%
To be the man,
what it is.
you got to beat the man.
And
so
we
he
know-
wants to beat the man.
We know Elon
I
right now. is
Never
the man, right?
underestimate Elon Musk. He may be overweight. He may not be in the shape of Zuckerberg, but he has. What did somebody say? He was going to use the seal move or something, or that he just sit on him and squash him.
What if he just uses Neuralink or whatever? He just puts his
He
own
might.
chip
He just has something
into
going
the
on like
brain.
that.
He
He'll
just
have an edge.
uploads
He'll
some martial
find
law.
an edge.
You know how he is.
Yeah, he'll find an edge. I'm with
you-
Elon.
If you think
People
the
say I'm
Matrix,
nuts because you watch
Yeah.
Zuckerberg win that other fight there, but you never know. I think maybe, just maybe, Elon will find a way.
if only it could be a TLC match. I'm with that. Table, ladders, and chairs. If you guys don't know what that is,
I
that would
am
be pretty cool.
challenging everyone at Benzinga, including Jason Raznick, to a swim race. I think I'll challenge every CEO on Wall Street, except for
Joel's
maybe
challenging.
Jim
Joel's in a
Farley.
challenging mood.
Yeah, Jim Farley. Yeah, but Jason, anybody else? 50-yard freestyle, anytime. Everyone in the chat too, except for maybe Rob Hood, because I
The
think he was a
future,
swimmer
baby.
and a coach. But come on,
Oh, Rob Hood.
yeah,
And the
maybe.
Rob has
yeah.
got to be
man.
one of our longest listeners, hasn't he, Rob Hood?
Yeah,
Rob was there from the beginning when we started with
out.
like 50 listeners back when we were on pre-market prep, back on our own channel. I think Rob was with us way back then, wasn't he? We'll give a shout out to Rob Hood, one of our longest listeners. Spinner's been there a long time too. Spinner's been
All
there a
right.
long time. We
Let's
got some
go.
long ones there.
yeah,
There's
Yep.
Rob. Rob,
All
when
right.
did
Keep
you
us
start
moving.
listening? It had to be 2013 right off the bat.
yeah.
Rob's been there
yeah,
a long time.
I'll
yeah.
keep us moving. Let's go to Snowflake here as they're collaborating with NVIDIA to assist business in creating customized generative AI applications using proprietary data in Snowflake's data cloud. Additionally, Snowflake expanded its partnership with Microsoft yesterday to incorporate generative AI models and machine learning capabilities. So now 2 days in a row, Snowflake with Microsoft, now Snowflake with NVIDIA. Can snow keep going up?
The problem is it's a meta problem here. These things have run a little bit too far. Although this one hasn't run quite as far, but the valuation's crazy. I don't know. You look at these tech stock charts now, and it looks like maybe they did top out 7 days ago. It was the option expiration. We talked
Quad
about
witch.
turns. Just the setup. The quad witch, the top on the quad witch, like looking back, obviously hindsight capital's 2020. We talked about the next day saying there's the potential that these things might have topped out on quad witch. Well, that potential is turning into more potential now because the things continue to leak. So now Snowflake, awful candle yesterday, key reversal, goes up, on Sadil. Good news, but overhead resistance all over the place. 178, 180, 182, head and shoulders in place. I can see it there. I'm not a pattern trader, but I see at the beginning of June, the 182 left shoulder. I see the head up there at 193. I see the right shoulder yesterday at 183, 182. And I think to myself, I'm selling the rally.
Yeah, that was an ugly bar yesterday. I would just keep it. Oh, that pre-market high is kind of spotty here in the 177 handle. What was your close? You know what's my number for today? 178 and a quarter. There's two closes right there. 178.50. If this is really good news for this, as good as news as the pre-market traders think, I think you get up to that 178.50 area. I don't think you see yesterday's high under these conditions, but Man, it's had a couple red bars going back from that Friday quad witch top that we talked about, and it's had a couple green bars. But I just think people are like, okay, this is good. I didn't sell at 180. I'm going to sell into strength this time. I should have been selling into strength on quad witch week. I'm going to sell into strength on this one. So that is my take on Snowflake.
All right, let's keep going. Let's go to Microsoft as they aim to double its revenue by 2030, specifically targeting 500 billion. So this, of course, envisions annual growth of at least 10% and provided top-line financial goals for the company through 2030. Can this actually give Microsoft a lift today?
I have an invader. She's
Invader.
Yes,
Invader.
she is pink eye.
Toast.
We have the pink eye invader. She can't go to school today. Pink eye.
What you guys still in school?
I don't go forever, man.
Last
day is Thursday. Last day is Thursday. So yeah.
School doesn't end in Canada, Joel. It just keeps going.
So yeah,
Can you imagine if they went to year-round school?
These Canadians are smart. They go 12 months a year.
They should do year-round school, man. They should just do a couple months in vacation.
Childcare is nice.
Let's go.
Mr. Softy, the same problem. We got the Meta problem. We got the Snowflake problem. We got the Microsoft problem. This thing looks head and shouldery too. Left shoulder beginning of June. Right head right on expiration day. Right shoulder forming now. What does that equal? It equals a sell. 340 major resistance. I don't like the chart whatsoever.
Firm seller at 331 as we speak right now. Last few brackets, so I'll give you that. Not much above 331. I don't know what yesterday's high way up there at 36.11. I think right now I just end of the quarter, baby. Let's book some profits. Let's look good, right? Let's I look how good I did.
End of the quarter coming. End of the quarter coming.
Yep.
Maybe we turn again. Maybe we bottom there. But, I mean, healthy pullbacks here. These stocks have had incredible moves. They look toppy right now. They look like there's buyer exhaustion. They look like the charts have broken in some of these things. They're starting to break. Some of them look ready to fall off a cliff. It doesn't look great, actually. The NASDAQ is not looking that great.
The Qs?
Not looking that great at all. And contrary, actually, it was interesting yesterday. Did you see what really was moving? So, and it was a tweet. I don't know who said it, but that actually advancers yesterday outnumbered decliners like 7-4 or something. Just in percentages or whatever. I forget, who had that tweet, but I saw it go to value in my timeline. But I looked at my long-term portfolio. I was like, oh, it was an ugly day for the market. I looked at my long-term portfolio. It was up. And I was like, oh, it's because value. And, I'm all value stocks. So, it's underperformed. But, I think you're seeing a little changing the guard here to a certain extent. Again, we keep an eye on KRE, but that showed a little bit of hope yesterday. The bank's showing a little bit of hope yesterday. Rotation. It was sneaky rotation yesterday. They were moving out of the leaders and back into the laggards again. And we've been seeing that for a couple weeks here now.
The big reason why I was bringing up industrials yesterday, I just see them propping. I see the XLI strong. I see Deere already back, Cat back. Honeywell starting to look better.
PEs on these things, 12, 13. Not the PEs matter when the stories are hot. But look at what is happening. The stories are starting to cool a little bit. The AI story is not in your face every other segment on CNBC. Cooling just a little bit. Not over. AI not over. Cooling just a little bit. Just a little bit cooling. But that, is why we're starting to see a little bit of rotation into the beaten down value names. I mean, let's go to Delta Airlines. You want to talk about value names here. You want to talk about stocks that are still performing in a market that is now turning in the last 7 days, not Delta. Delta, give us the news here, Mitch. Raising guidance here again.
Delta sees 2023 EPS at the top end of $5 and $6 range here. Consensus was at a 581, so definitely seeing a little bit better EPS here. And Delta on the takeoff as of late.
Going back just to what I was saying, so Spinner actually just he knew the headline I was talking about. He says breadth was 9-5 positive yesterday. So on the day the S&P was down 20 handles. It's funny how this market's so heavy, those 7 names. You actually had a good day for the overall market despite a lot of those big names being down. The Qs were weak, we know. The Qs were weak off. Obviously, a lot of tech sell-off there. But you had a lot of other stocks that were holding up fairly well. Value names are holding up. Delta, definitely in the value camp. What are they supposed to make here? What are they saying they're going to make? How much money? This thing's making money, man. $7. You see, greater than $7 in EPS in 2024.
Wow.
They're making money, man.
Making money.
I mean,
United
as oil
was the
prices
first
go
one.
down too, that is only good news for the airlines and the cruise lines. Don't kid
Exactly.
yourself. There's an inverse correlation. There is a long-term inverse correlation between oil prices and cruise lines and airlines. As oil has shown some weakness and shown coming off, those airlines are showing some strength, and that's not a coincidence here. But we talked about the UAL after they had that good quarter back in March, and then they hit the stock anyways and knocked it down the low 40s. You know, we've been talking about it setting up at 45, 46. I know you were in there, Money Mitch. Me and you got the same problem. We sell too early, but UAL sitting up here near the highs too. Delta, highs. I mean, on pullbacks here, $7 a share. The thing's trading times, you know, again, cyclical
It's
earnings.
free.
Maybe it's
It's
not gonna
almost
last.
free.
Like 6 times earnings.
Even the cheap one that was lagging, Love, has just recently just got a little boost.
Yeah,
back
because
up.
they haven't had to cancel flights in 3 months.
that'll help you, right?
We talked about the lagging Love, and it started to go too. We
Even
talked about the setup
JetBlue.
of this at 30. Man, we got to listen to the show more, Mitch.
I mean, I
We gotta
played that
stop
Love one.
listening to other media and just re-listen to our shows, and we get
No.
all the good
That's what
trading
people
ideas.
do, Dennis.
Dennis.
That's why
Here's
we
the
get so
trick.
many views. We get like 10,000 views, and all these people are like, they don't. They take their time. They listen
We're really
to
patting
it.
ourselves on the back here.
They do AI.
The truth is this.
They add AI to it. But look, I'll tell you,
What's the truth? I want to hear what Mitch got.
So the truth is that Dennis and I buy, but we need to listen to Joel on the sell, man.
Yeah, because Joel don't sell.
Because Joel
We
don't
need to
sell.
combine ourselves to be the
that's what
ultimate
happens.
trader. Me and
The
Mitch
three-headed
buy for good
dragon.
times, but then we sell too soon. But Joel holds. But then Joel holds too long sometimes too. So
don't mince words.
we won't
there.
Peloton it. That was Lisa's pick.
Yes.
That was Lisa's.
Yeah, and we don't hear
What do you
it.
see
And,
on these charts?
I
Joel?
haven't ridden that thing, and I mean, and it's up. I haven't ridden that thing in so long. I just can't look at it. But first a couple fundamentals on Delta. We're doing some flying lately, and it's just like on time boarding, on time arrival. They slide me a free drink.
rocking.
Well, maybe because I paid for the free drinks. I don't know.
They said
But
you have free Ryan Coke.
they've been giving me.
How do you
I
pull
like. I
that
take
off?
my credit
Those are
card
like
out.
$25 on the plane, aren't they?
No.
Oh.
But let's look at this 44. This is a big day for Delta because you just sniffed 44. I don't know if there's anything in the book there at 44, Dennis. The reason I think there may be is because, man, you know,
It
it's
hadn't been
not,
there in
it's
a
just
long time?
paused. Yeah, it hasn't been there in a long time.
Yeah.
Previous high 43.58. Your high back in May of 2022 was 43.97.
Yeah.
And that opens up the door, you know, to 45. So it's tough. These are
Room
some
to
good
45.
levels.
Easy
Yeah.
room. I think there's good room to 45, but it gets tougher there. So we've run a long ways. Like we just gave a huge bullish scenario on these airlines there, but I'd like a pullback now. Buy strong stocks on pullbacks.
All right, let's go to
And
our
just one
earnings.
more, Mitch,
Yeah.
before you move on.
course.
And this is one old sneaky Carnival Cruise Lines. Mitch, I heard you talking about it. I wanted to short the thing too.
Yeah.
You know, this is one where you really got to be a pre-market trader to get
Exactly.
this one good.
That's the only way.
And it just like, I'm like, I was thinking to myself, no matter what the report is, this is going down. I
Too
just kind of
much, yeah.
felt that way. And,
Yeah.
you know, you're back in the old days when you didn't have as much pre-market trading, you'd just, you know, put a wallop there at 1550, right? With all those lows at that area. And when it came out, man, I mean, just Dennis, I don't know. It was after you were off the show. Were you paying attention to that, or were you out
and the
playing
same
Bob the
thing.
Builder?
I think the quarter wasn't that bad. I think
Not
it's
at
just
all.
too much.
Yeah.
Too
just
much, too
Right.
fast. I mean, CCL like 3 upgrades there in a row, and it's like 12 to 16 and like a heartbeat. And I was like, this is Carnival Cruise Lines. This isn't, AI Carnival Cruise Lines. So I have no idea what they were just buying. But again, I think on pullbacks here, even the low from yesterday, Carnival Cruise Lines is a little interesting here because you know what? There's a better environment for that. You know, unless the economy falls off a cliff, nobody's ever going to cruise again. But people like doing stuff now. People are into doing stuff. We're seeing that people are into going places. People are into cruises. I can think of like 3 friends right now who say they're going on a cruise. I don't remember hearing that 2 years ago. They're like, oh, I got a cruise booked. You have a cruise booked, Joel? Are you one of those people too?
I don't like cruises.
No, I know you don't like cruises. He's not into it.
Yeah.
Mitch,
You
you gonna
can't
go?
golf.
You gonna go on another cruise? Not
Hell
for a
yeah,
while now.
already, baby.
He's like
Getting
ready to go,
next
man.
year. Let's do it.
Go.
Let's
We'll
do
the
it.
pre-market prep cruise. Jeremy
I'll tell you what,
rents those boats and
when you work remote and you don't get to see people, cruises aren't too bad. That's the truth. Now, one thing I will say is I'm looking at RCL today. It's just at the top hanging out here. Made back the losses after getting hit on the first hit there at CCL yesterday. So we'll see what happens on this one. Does it want 100 or is it going to crack back below 97s today? I'll keep an eye on it. RCL. All right, let's do one last one before we get Kenny Glick on. You guys smash the like out there. You guys have been seeing him in the chat. I've been seeing hit the bid out there. Smash it up. Let's do WBA here. Walgreens Boots Alliance definitely taking a big beating today as they reported Q3 earnings that missed estimates and lowered their full year earnings guidance. And Joel, you might like this comment here that Walgreens is going to increase its cost-cutting program to $4.1 billion. There might not be workers left. You just might have an AI at the front. The way that Joel sees things at Walgreens.
I don't.
Man,
how are they going to cut more?
Here's the problem here, Money Mitch, is with WBA. Yeah, there's maybe an AI story here if they're going to cut out all that, but there's again, at 6.62% dividend looks awesome in a 1% environment, but you get 5+% in treasuries here right now. I just did some GICs, Ontario equivalent government, investment certificates, like 5.6, 5.7%. Free, just risk free. Why am I going to invest in Coke and Walgreens and all these consumer staples for a 6% dividend? I get 6% almost for free with no risk. So that's what's hurting them the most. And again, this is not a dig at Microsoft. You're in that for growth, but you're not in Walgreens for growth. You're in it for the dividend. Why bother? And this is why, the staples are starting to show some weakness here. Why bother being in this stuff when you got that yield? If yields drop back down to 1%, I'll be happy to go back into the staples and pick up 4, 5, 6%. But until we start seeing that actual Fed speak, talk about lowering rates, they're still talking about going higher yet. I have no reason to buy these. With that being said, money managers are all underinvested. WBA has some support in this 29 area here.
It does.
Do they buy the dip? Maybe. I'm not buying the dip. I'd be buying dips on other stuff, but I can see why it could potentially rally. So I'm not making a trade on this. I'm not saying it's going to continue to go down. I don't sell stocks in the whole 8%, but I'm not buying this dip. But at the same time, if it gets bought, I wouldn't be surprised. It's because money managers are so underinvested.
It's not. It's taken out the former low of the move at 29.50, so you can use that as minor resistance. But I just wonder if someone's just like bringing this in, under 29, just being kind of sneaky, not showing a big bid. 28.84. I mean, the one by me. I mean, they just like the turnover employees is like every time I go in there, there's like a different person, and then there's some that stick around for a while.
They don't.
And I really stuck my foot in my mouth. Last week, I haven't seen Daryl because he always wears Michigan stuff. I go, I haven't seen Daryl in a couple months. And the lady looks at me. She goes, he died.
Ooh,
and
that's
I'm like,
horrible
oh man.
And he was the one long employee.
He was the one long-term employee.
But I know because the average, I think in retail, I saw this stat once. The average employee lasts 9 months. I mean, that's, the tough part because, what happens is they, get, better, they move on to like a different job, better job, where they just, and in this environment, it's so hard to even get those initial employees. It's still hard. I look at the McDonald's sign here. It's paying $18 an hour in Ontario, $18 an hour to start McDonald's. And they give you, like half price food maybe or something. I don't know. There's other perks in there too, but $18 an hour at McDonald's. When I started working at McDonald's was $6. It's 18 now. So, and I mean, I get it. Minimum wage is way higher in Ontario too than it used to be, but it's $18, $20 working McDonald's now an hour. That's why a lot of these smaller, businesses here, labor costs are significant.
All right, let's get some entertainment here.
Let's do it. What's going on? The Warlock is here in the house. You guys know him, and he ain't gonna hold it back. How we doing, Kenny?
I'm rip roaring. What's going on, fellas?
Oh, I just gotta ask right off the hop. Are you ready for the fight of all the fights? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna take it? Is it Elon or Zuckerberg?
The Walrus is going to win. He's going to do
The Walrus.
Yeah. He's going to just lay
The Walrus.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. I heard you talking about the move. Yeah.
I'm going with him too. Going with the Walrus. The Walrus him.
Plus, he also has a time machine. It's already been done. The fight's over already.
Oh yeah, that's it. He cannot fight. He's just too smart, man.
Exactly.
You cannot fight him. Like he's gonna know. He's gonna know the moves ahead of time. He's to work ahead.
Exactly.
Cheating somehow.
Exactly. What's going on?
What's up, Penny?
Chilling, yeah. Again, same day every day for us over here. Wake up. There's you guys talking about WBA, but there's always one biotech every day. We already traded BDTX, baby. I heard you talking about long-term investing. This is why I don't do it. I find a stock like this every morning. 220, 280. I sell it at 280, it goes to 370. That's the claim. So basically, when I sell, you guys buy for the real move. That's
you take the first bite too. How do you find this, Kenny? Stop. How do you find these stocks? What, using a filter?
Every morning, yeah. I just look for volume increases and percentage gains, and then we just take them off. And again, if you had my screen, we never catch the first pop. It's the second and third pop, because if they stay right around VWAP and they don't break down, you get the pump on the news. If they don't dump immediately and they consolidate and then they break back over VWAP and break the high of the morning, that's when the momentum kicks in. So we didn't catch the first move. We just bought this thing when it broke 250, sell it at 275 and 3, and we're thrilled. And then you see it go to 375, and then some of these things go to $5, $6, $20, and it's always a therapeutic stock. I mean, the joke is we try to figure out what these companies do. So Black Diamond Therapeutics, they make a cream. So when you fall down skiing, you just rub the lotion on your leg, and suddenly your broken leg is gone. Welcome to Black Diamond Therapeutics.
Is that for real? Or you just made that up?
Black Diamond,
you
baby.
made that up, Thomas.
It sounded good.
Sounded good, right?
Therapeutics, bro.
Right, and they won't be around 3 days from now. The stock will be at 0008. And you'll be, in the bulletin boards. It's the same day every day here. It's crazy. But we traded Carnival Cruise yesterday and some crazy biotech. Today it'll be WBA and some crazy biotech. Carnival Cruise was phenomenal. I'm teaching my son how to trade, and he's just staying focused on the one biotech of the day and usually 1 or 2 earnings reports. Yesterday, we did really well on Carnival. We didn't catch the short out of the gate, because usually I like to buy the gap downs. So once they puked it out, we just caught the turn around 1440, 1450, rode it back to the 1480. They had the 10 o'clock meeting. It sold off again, broke the VWAP. We got short, and then it got down to that 14 level again. We picked it up again and rode it up for 50 cents. So again, love these earnings reports. I like when there's only one to focus on. So WBA, we're going to be all over that one today. Probably looking to buy it. Again, this market, there's buyers everywhere. Even though the market now officially is in a bull market, it's probably over now that the sheep got in. But
that's the problem.
Yeah,
the sheep are just keep coming, and these analysts just keep upgrading up and down. And now they're starting to scramble a little bit, and a few of them are putting on sells there because they're like, am I too late? But you're right.
This market's
sheep are in.
But the market's doing exactly what it should be. It really hit that resistance, and now we're consolidating at this upper level. Now it's going to be put up or shut up. This is exactly, again, I don't like saying the market's doing what it should, but right now it is, which is scary.
I agree. I know.
Consolidating up here, and now we're going to go into earnings season, and come July 14th and July 18th, we'll see where we are with the banks, and then we'll get into tech. And I think it's going to be an exciting August.
What is the 1-minute multi-day VWAP reversal song?
That it goes to 10 Little Indians. We can't sing the song right now, but we'll be singing songs.
Why not?
I can take a second right now. I want to invite everybody on. When I come on the show, I never show charts. I never show what I'm talking about because we don't have enough time. Yeah. On July 8th, if anybody's free on Saturday, this is how much of a nerd I am. I get together with my crew and we just crunch charts on a Saturday for a couple hours. If anybody's interested, I'm doing it for free. That's how much I've been loving what I'm doing. I'm showing my son how to trade. This is the most exciting time of my life. My boy's learning this trade. He's learning the VWAP trade. He's just staying very focused. Oh, yeah. And we're just going to cram these charts right down your throat on a Saturday afternoon. So if you've ever been looking just for some geeking out on a Saturday for a couple hours, just email me, guys. It's open house. I'm just, I'm just nerding out with my son, showing him the ropes because I'm going to Greece. I want to make sure he's got everything ready to go while I'm away. I'm leaving him in charge of the empire while I'm going to Greece.
How old is he?
20.
20.
Yeah.
Good.
So far, so good. He is learning. Again, he doesn't know about inflation, stagflation. He doesn't know about government policies or if it's a bull market or bear market. He just stays focused on price and VWAP, and that's all the kid knows. And I'm telling you, he's been doing it for a month and a half now. He's getting it done. He's getting it done. He's making a little bit every day.
Nice.
And again, he's not going to know what long-term investing is, and nor do I want him to.
When you have edge, do you need it,
He's got the
right?
succession plan in place here. That's what we all want.
Yeah, because long-term investing is what destroys me. I mean, I had, again, everyone's a genius when the market did what it just did from October to last week. Even I had 8 positions that were up. You know where those 8 positions are right now? Down. Every single one of them. It
is a good argument here. This long-term investing versus trading. I will tell you the same exact thing. My trading account is very consistent. Makes money every year, going up, and most months I make money as well, like almost all. But my investing account, it just like goes up, goes, we're in a bull market. Oh, it's doing really well. I love this investing. And then we have like 2020 to like 2022. I hate investing. Then we get like a little bit, I like investing again. I'm like so torn. And somebody keeps, I get people out, why don't you just stop investing and just trade everything? And I used to say, well, I didn't do that because I had bright trading. I was trading with prop money. So I basically had, a big enough bankroll already. So I was like, I'm making money investing and making money trading. But now that I'm just running my own trading firm, I'm like, I could just take all my investing money and just put it all trading and probably make more money. So maybe there's an argument there to just, when you're watching the market as much as we are, just trade everything. Like, opposite of Kramer, don't own Nvidia, or don't trade Apple or own Apple. Don't trade Nvidia, own Nvidia. I think I'll go opposite and say, don't own anything. Maybe just trade it all. I could be talked into it.
It's not easy. And especially, again, I didn't do well after the Nvidia broke out and took the Qs up 20 points. I sat there kind of dumbfounded, waiting for an opportunity to short, and I kind of missed the whole thing. And I did get short, and I got smoked on those last 2 days. But then you get 5 or 6 days like this, where it's just very, very range bound. You know what you're getting in for. You know what your results should be. And you just take what you can get and you move on. I love these last 6 or 7 days. You give me a CCL in a 50-cent range, dollar range, I'm doing that all day. You give me the Qs rolling over and actually following through. Now you can finally make some money on a short. I love these last 6 or 7 days. And I loved when the market was going sideways. It's those parabolic bull markets that confuse me, especially because I'm a bear by nature. I'm always looking for the turn, and I get myself in trouble because I'm a degenerate. And but when I go back to just trading what I see, it just keeps you focused. And again, my focus right now is all about my son. So while I'm training my son, people are getting a different look into what we've been doing. I've been calling it the trading desk. So he's my main trader, and now I'm going to hire 2 other guys, and we're just going to build the desk that I had, back in 1999, and we're just going to all just trade VWAP. Always just stay focused on that one trade, the one we sing songs about. And again, I don't see where the investing comes into play as far as I'm concerned anymore, because I'm just not good at it. I crushed it in Carvana. I gave most of it back already because I got greedy.
Yeah, this is such a good, sorry, Mitch. This is such a good topic, though. I think Trade Vids is saying something very important too. Like, and he says maybe DDD should just trade. Investing is better for people who can't watch the markets or don't have an edge. I think, we got to talk to 2 different people. There are people who are just part-time playing with the markets. I think they need to more look at investing. But for Kenny and me, who are trading the markets and watching it and living it in full time, there's probably an argument to say that, maybe, we should be trading more so than investing, where everybody, if you're not full time, if you have a job, like a real job,
right.
I think maybe that you've got to stick with the long-term investing. You've got to do different things. But when me and Kenny are looking as much as we are at these markets, and this is our full-time job, there's an argument there to be said that just trade it all.
Yeah, but Dennis, I think your long-term investing, right, wrong, or indifferent, it gives you like a mindset. for
Argument
stocks.
there. Sure.
Yeah, and it helps shape your perspective on a day-to-day basis. You're looking at your own portfolio, you're looking at the rotation, you're seeing what's working and what's not working. And also, for you, Dennis, I mean, how applying the capital, I mean, trading in the pre-markets and after hours, sometimes you have the world's greatest idea and you can get an odd lot on something. So even if you had more capital. But Kenny, before we let you go, I just wanted to see where you're at on the AI craze, and a stock like AI has had a real nice move and a pullback. I mean, you've been around, you've seen the internet bubble, you've seen different things, the financial crisis. Where are you at on these AI stocks? And give us a look at C3 AI. A nice pullback from that high, almost near $50.
Yeah, that one. We were in that thing at the $11, $12 range, and we caught the first move. And then when it got in trouble with the quote unquote fraud allegations, it just became another buy. These are all just trades to me. Again, I've been focusing on what I thought was going to be a real player, Palantir. That thing we finally got paid on it, but that was my AI play. That one made a difference to me
You must listen to Pre-Market Prep. That was our AI play too, except I screwed it all up. It got stopped out.
I almost screwed it up, but when it hit 17 this time, I was like, you know what? I'm going to cash out this time and wait for the inevitable pullback because this stock always disappoints me. And here it is back at 14. But it's been a great trader. And by the way, this BDDX is going phenomenally crazy right now. So
it's up like 50 cents since you mentioned it.
For you weed smokers out there, you always sell something at 420. It's good luck. Remember, if it hits 420, cash out a little bit.
It's the 420 rule.
It's tradition here.
That's called tough gone trading, like his shirt says.
The
baby.
420 rule.
But the AI craze, to me, that's what caused this last rally. So I'm just waiting for some of the air to come out. But if it doesn't want to come out, again, I'm so individually. By the way, 420. There you go. I'm so individually focused on just day trading. And again, I'm telling you, man, every stock that I had, I'm talking about I had NNOX, ENVX, CDLX. Remember all the X stocks, the Carvana?
Oh, you were talking about
I'm down on all of them now because I went out and I got a little crazy. I bought some call spreads, some leaps on some of these names. I got Carvana 30, 50 call spread on. Like, what am I doing? And then I go back to what I do here. And I'm like, oh, I just made $600 in 6 seconds. I'd rather do that. And then just wait for the Carvana money.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Well, I mean, guys, I see you guys all asking about VWAP out there, trying to learn a little bit more about VWAP. There's only one way. Go to hitthebid.com. Hit them up.
Email me. Just email me at I'm the Warlock. The Warlock at hitthebid.com. July 8th. You're all welcome. Come in, geek out with us. I'm going to be giving out Danish and double chocolate Milano cookies. So be there. Be there.
Pinkies up, baby. You do it, Kenny. And definitely check out the Warlock, guys. If you guys haven't checked out Hit the Bid, I'll throw it up in the chat one more time. Have a good one, Kenny. Take care, man.
Good luck. Be careful.
Thanks, Kenny.
Thanks, Kenny.
All right.
I want to just continue this conversation on the investing versus trading because it's very important. I want to clarify because we were talking, with Kenny, professional trader, myself, professional trader. And my argument was that professional traders have such an edge in just short-term trading that if you're like undercapitalized, I would say definitely you want to put your investing money in your trading if you're that full-time and you're that consistent at it. If you're, capitalized enough, then, that's where you start to do other things. So, I mean, it all depends on your own financial situation. If you're in the markets part-time, I think the longer-term approach is probably the best way. So if you're in the markets, not full-time, you have a real job, you don't, trade for a living like I do, then I think investing is the best way. So that's why, we're talking to a big crowd here. Obviously, we get 7,000 to 10,000 people who watch the show on a given day. And I just want to, clarify that. I don't want, this part-time trader that, makes 2 trades a day to think I got to sell all, I'm just going to trade it all. I think all depends on your own situation. And I think if you're not full-time in this business, it's hard to make money. It's hard to, beat in long-term investing versus trading. If you're full-time in this business, there's an argument to be said that, trading can be much more consistent than investing.
Yeah, we've all seen the statistics on long-term investing, and so that's what I would probably
Markets
rely
tend to go
on.
higher.
Of course, tends to go higher, and if you hold it with compound interest and all that outlook, then yeah, you see long-term investing as kind of being the more positive. But I always say just look at your personality, right? I think that that's what matters more. You guys are seeing here what Kenny's and Dennis' personality, right? They've been trading for a long time. They know that their personality right now is more toward the short term. You guys see it. It's hard for Dennis to hold for months and months and months because he's a daily trader that trades sometimes positions in minutes, right? And so with that being said, there's a mentality that goes in there. And I think that more long, find what works for your personality. If your personality is more for that quick type of trade in and out, then that could be your personality. But there is some traders that like to be in longer positions, swing, position sizing into certain positions. And then if you're long-term, of course, a lot of the times you're going to be more not trying to have those quick reactionary decisions. Anything you want to wrap up here with Joel, since Joel, you
No,
are
I just I wanted
the
to
expert
see
on long-term.
what the durable good orders were for May,
Yeah,
because
let's take a look at it.
we did at 8:30. We got the Canada inflation rate. That's a very important number, and we got the durable good orders from May at 8:30, and that has incited a bid in the market here. The close has been protected. The close of 70 and a quarter. What a weak close! It was a weak close, but that closing print, I mean, it moved away from it so quick. Dennis, there was some big selling balances yesterday from what I saw. Is that kind of what took us off our keister in the last 15 minutes? Did you get the
You're trying to take me back to yesterday, trying to remember. I think so, Joel. I think I did remember seeing some selling into the close.
Yeah, because
So you
usually,
get all these days, they all get mixed up and you get them confused. I think there was some selling into the close yesterday, though.
Okay.
Yeah, like
right.
SPY really gapped down on the close, if I'm not mistaken. Here, I'm just looking, at the last few minutes. Oh yeah, it was like 432.50, and boom, like down to 431 in the last 5 minutes. So we definitely had some selling pressure into the close, and you get a little bit of a relief pop here. Is this anything more than a relief pop? It's to be determined. And I just think, and people ask me, are you buying AMD? Are you buying B? I'm already long AMD, and I said I would buy more. The one thing I will say is I don't like to catch the falling knife. AMD has continued to go down every single day. What I like to see is the move up, the bottom, the consolidation period, and then starting to hook up. That's when I would strike for more, as opposed to just trying to be the hero and saying the trend is broken on AMD. Like, maybe not the long-term trend, but the short-term trend is definitely broken. It broke when it went down through 120, and then we said it was probably doing 110. It did. Now it's like at the crossroads. Is 107.50, 108? Could that be a bottom? It could be. But let's get a consolidation in here and then start to hook up and see what the narrative is here, as opposed to just trying to say, oh, yeah, it's going to turn immediately. And an upgrade can change things. Narratives can change. But again, when, I'm looking here at just chart patterns, and I'm not a big chartist, but, I'm seeing the uptrend, the pullback, the consolidation, and then starting to show some life again. That's where I like to strike.
Two
this hasn't
lows
shown
in
me
the
any
same
life
area.
since
Two
it's broken.
lows. 107.46, 107.20. That's two lows in the same area. And also what I had been talking about when this thing was floating up between 120 and 130 was like, would we fill the gap? Would we fill the gap there? And we did. That was at 108.91. And then, but look how many days it put in lows right in the same area. You have 2 days of a low now. So it's not looking bad here as far as a possible setup. Like I said, two lows in the same area. Not bad for AMD.
All right, let's go through some ratings here and look out for some ratings, of course, that are coming in here, as we've been getting recently some downgrades to start coming in. First one that we're going to talk about is Bernstein's downgrade on Alphabet to market perform and announcing a 125 price target. So if you're wondering why Google's down, that's definitely playing an effect this morning.
I tweeted this out last
Google.
night. I was surprised it wasn't selling off last night. It was out there. It was on the street, and I tweeted it out last night that it was downgraded, and it was like just trading flat. I was like, I don't know why it's not trading down, but anyway, it's trading down here now. They also downgrade Alibaba. Difference is these ADRs, when they, U.S. firms are downgrading, upgrading ADRs, they don't have as much impact here. So Google's down. Google's broken trend. Yep. Again, would I like to rebuy my Google? Yeah. Do I think it's got a shot to go back to 110? Yeah, I want to see, it's kind of breaking trend, so I want to see some consolidation and then start to show some life. So I'm waiting, until we start to see that before just jumping in on all these, on all these tech stocks that have pulled back.
Next technical level on the downside here, 116.83. That was your May 16th low. Man, I guess I could give you that's a good area. I even like that. I'll go from a 2-star at 1683 to a 3-star at 1660. That splits the lows from May 15th and 16th. So got a few lows in the same area for Google. We did talk about the importance of holding that 120 level. It did give way later in the day, settling at 119.09, just off the low of the session. So at one point, and I looked at this when at the closing print, I mean, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Nvidia, and Tesla were all down like between 0.5% and the Tesla was down even more. It was down close to 5 or 6%. And the SPOOs were trying to go unchanged. And this was like in the last 15 minutes. And then when they really got a whiff of some of those sell imbalances, they took it down. But a little bit of loss of leadership on the mega cap tech, but we don't mind that as long as other stocks are picking up the slack.
We'll see if Google does fill that down gap. Looking to see if maybe it gets into that gap space. There is an upgrade today in Goldman Sachs upgrading Kellogg's to buy and raising the price target to 83. Is this the type of stock to look on a turn like we're getting?
Is that for real? 83? Where are they getting that?
I mean, hey.
What? I got to read that note. That sounds crazy. Kellogg's 83. These things don't move that much. That's a huge price target for this. I mean, in the last year, it's moved $10.
Confirmed.
So I mean, this isn't like an AI. They think they're going to get an AI or something.
For a second there, you even maybe rechecked there, Dennis. But yeah, 83.
That's a crazy price target. I can't believe that. I'm almost got to go read that note. Maybe I will today.
That's why I mean, that's a big lift, right?
Yeah, up $1.83 on an upgrade for Kellogg's is an absolutely huge move. It's a big PT. It's Goldman Sachs. They carry, big weight. P is 27 on this thing. Like, I'm going to just take the opposite side. It's trading with a P of 27, which is above a market multiple. These staples often trade that. 3.5% dividend, which is way under the treasury yield. I'm just thinking, why? Why do I want to
They had it at 78, just to kind of mention the prior.
I'm not a fan at all. I think this is a sell. It's going to get some talk today, though, so it could go up higher. I think there's room to 68. Just my opinion. Not telling anybody to sell this. I'm just saying my opinion is I don't want to own stocks, staples, 3.5% dividend at 27 times earnings in a 5% treasury environment. No, thank you.
Opening right into a pair of highs.
I think it's a terrible call.
Opening into an exact pair of highs, going back earlier in the month, 67.45 and 67.30. So if you are chasing this, buying this off the open, you want to see a 67.50 bid with size early in the session, and maybe get a look. Dennis, it's poked its head. 68 would be the next level there. But this is probably already over its average daily trading range. So be careful on the open.
It's a big call. It's going to get some CNBC talk, I'm sure. So that could drive it to maybe 68. But I just don't see a path to 83 unless they're getting an AI serial. I just don't see it. I just want to bring that. So somebody said the P is only 15. I just grabbed it off I was just grabbing off the Pro. What's the forward? So again, most of these staples trade 23, 24 times earnings, which is why I don't like to own them.
Yeah,
I got it. I got the forward P is only 16. It's 27. I don't know. Maybe there's some growth coming from somewhere here I don't know about. But typically these things always trade in the 20s. Why I don't like the 16 is not bad. I mean, if it is 16, it's not bad, I guess. But I still don't want to own staples.
All right, last outlook.
When treasuries go back down to 1%, I'll want to own staples.
Okay.
Last outlook on the ES. What are we seeing, Joel?
I mean, we're up 6 1/4. We've had more losing streaks than winning streaks as of late. 120 handle move off the high. I mean, it's one of those days. I think you hold in here. We've never seen the closing print of 70 1/4. Pre-market lows above that. That seems to be defended right now. above 43.87.75. Let's see if people are selling into strength today. That's what happened yesterday. If you're just going on daily numbers, yesterday's high is up at 44.03. I think you would need, a big rally to get there. And on the downside, yesterday's low 68.50. Below that, I have nothing for 20 handles. But so far, it's turnaround Tuesday unless you're in Walgreens or CVS. So, gonna wrap things up for
So
today.
pretty weak turnaround Tuesday. I'll say
I
that
would
much.
say so too. So, Dennis, go get that hard hat on. Go finish up that shed so you can start your vacation.
I got trees to cut today, so they're on the ground. But my buddy got them on the ground for me. But I gotta go chop them up.
We having a big
chainsaw coming out.
What's the bonfire? When's the bonfire? Joel and I are coming.
Burn ban. We're burn ban.
Oh,
Burn ban
man,
in Ontario.
come on, man.
In
Oh,
Northern
yeah, 'cause of
Ontario,
fires,
Quebec
eh?
forest fires. Oh yeah, burn ban. All my stuff's sitting there ready to rock, but we got the burn ban on.
Right?
So
I
the
like
smoke
me
was
some
even bad on the
bonfires,
weekend
man.
again. It's
I like
forest
me some
fires. Don't go
bonfires,
away.
man.
There's like 500 of them or something.
Guys, only you can save the forest, guys. Save
Only
it.
you can prevent forest fires. Burn ban.
All right. So just kind of wrap it up here. I'm going to wrap it up really quickly with Dennis. Dennis, I wanted to get your opinion on what position I took yesterday. What do you think about HD, Home Depot? I took this one yesterday at 303.88.
I like
starting
it.
to come back up.
We talked about this, Mitch. And you're correct. We had a discussion on this show about a week ago, and we talked about the consolidation around 300. We talked about how the home builders find on all cylinders. We talked about projects that have been put on hold that are starting to get put because lumber prices have come down substantially.
Yeah.
So I kind of like Home Depot. I think it's breaking out. I think the breakout's real. So I'm with you, man.
All right, that's not looking too bad. I'll go to a little bit more of a. I don't know how to say this one, but I'm going for short on Starbucks.
I'm with Money Mitch. We are on the same page too much here. I hate Starbucks. $5 coffee, but I've hated Starbucks since it was like $20.
Yeah,
it's now 100.
I got
there's
both,
one.
But...
You don't want to follow anything I say on Starbucks, I don't think, because I've been dead wrong. But that looks head and shouldery. It looks like it's ready to fall off a cliff. And if the economy starts to slow down, the first thing that's thrown out is $5 coffees or $6 coffees probably now.
Yeah, and my thing is it's come below 100 multiple times, then came right back above it, and then now getting smacked. And so that's like the usual little bounce off the logical mental level of 100, and then now using that as resistance. I at least know my out. If it gets back above 100, I'll get out. But if it can flush through that 98, 97, I'll be looking good at Starbucks. We'll see what happens there. And then overall, I think you and I have been looking at oil a little bit on both sides. So I'd love to take your outlook on it now, like let's say on an Exxon Mobil chart.
Let's take a look.
And how do you think about these oil names? Because I'm still shorting them. Full disclosure, I still have Exxon Mobil and Chevron short.
I'd actually buy oil stocks.
But I like to see how you like it, right?
I like oil stocks. I like oil stocks here. I'm a contrarian at heart. So I think there's value here. I think it's beat up. I think if the economy starts to turn, and if we do eventually get into this market where they're starting to go value over growth, which we are seeing pockets of that now, oil strength will continue. I actually think oil might have bottomed yesterday on some of these oil stocks. So I'm long PXD. I'm long Oxy. I'm looking. I could buy some more. I don't have a lot of oil exposure, so I probably should increase my oil stock exposure here, especially if we think we're not going into recession. So I kind of like oil stocks here.
All right. Well, you guys got last comments here from Dennis Dick. Like always, you guys can keep up with him. Triple D Trader. Check him out. Check out the trees falling down. Whatever you want to see. My man, Dennis doesn't hold back. Have a good one, Dennis. We'll see you tomorrow. And maybe Lions this year. Who knows? All right, guys, gonna wrap it up here on Pre-Market Prep. Bring you over to live trading, and you guys in the chat that were talking about VWAP or didn't know what VWAP was. It's volume weighted average price. How is it calculated? Come over to live trading to find out. I know exactly how it's calculated. It's one of my favorite things to have on a chart. I don't think I trade without having the VWAP on the chart. Of course, you guys can come and check and learn from all this on live trading. That's coming up next. Don't go anywhere, team. Check it out. I'm telling you guys, I trade off of it all the time. Traded off of it yesterday. Come check it out, guys. We'll see you guys on live trading. That's coming up now. We got Lord, Ryan, Zunaid, and I. We'll see if we can get into the green. And of course, we got the book club tonight. book club. Don't want to miss it, guys. I want you guys to get in there. We're going to start a new book. So I'm going to probably just do the first chapter tonight just to get it started and to get us into the book. But you guys out there, check out the book club. That's tonight, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. It's only about 30 minutes. So if you want to start learning, it's just once a week, guys. This is where we go into books and really talk about them. Look at real life examples. Try to match the book knowledge with actual knowledge in the markets right now as we speak. There's been multiple times where we've called out things from the books that have happened just the very next week. The IWM move, that was such a pretty one that we talked about. Supporting line there, supporting trend line on the bottom side, eventually ripping through there, gave us that really nice outlook. We talked about this. You guys can see that created on May 28th. That's when we were talking about it in the book club. So come on over, guys. Come learn with us. That's one of my favorite things and really a way that I'm being able to give back to you guys. Now to get you guys over to live trading, smash it up. You guys know exactly where you're at. Benzinga to get you ready for the market. And of course, get you through all the ups and downs of the markets. Now to get you to live trading and see what strategy we can come up with today.